Hi, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend, and welcome. Hi, Aqua Goddess. As always, I am not a doctor, lawyer, financial advisor, or therapist. If you need one of those, seek those. All readings and divinations are for the purposes of entertainment only, and that is in accordance with the law, as many states have fortune-telling laws. New York is one of them. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Rochelle said, as always, please like and subscribe. There we go. Katie Ray, you've never been here before. Would you please put a name, not a letter? You're pretty anonymous on here, so I just need a little bit of energy with that. No, Iman, no astro signs, please. Just give me a name. Again, I don't have a name, a voice like energy to ping off of you or a picture or anything. So, and Emily, I'm guessing you mean from a spirit guide? Type the whole question again. That makes it easier for me to not have to scroll up and down, because I'm not doing these in like just perfect time. So if I ask you to retype something, type the whole question, and then I will come back to you when I get back down the list again. So you'll have to wait. So you guys have been here before. These are my rules. Oh, I didn't turn this on. Also, I thought it was interesting. I've been thinking a lot about the people who were getting upset about me saying I don't like Trump's energy. And I thought, that's strange. So think about it this way. When somebody says something about somebody else, and it's maybe somebody you like or whatever, and it's like about their character or their energy. Like, I didn't call him names or anything. I just said I didn't like his energy. And people said, oh, you hate Trump supporters. I'm, no, I don't. But I just don't like his energy. So if that pings to you, figure out why that offends you so much when someone says something like that. It's like my kids get upset. One of them gets upset when I compliment the other one. I'm like, but just because I compliment that one doesn't mean I'm saying you're terrible, just giving them a compliment. So they don't equal. So think about that. Why does that trigger you to be really upset with somebody if they say they don't like somebody else's energy? I think I am a pretty fair person on here. So just think about that. That's kind of an interesting thing for you guys to do. Okay. All right. So we'll come back to Katie then. Isha, Akshay's poem, was it about you? I got no. I feel like it was just like a general thing. Aqua Goddess, I feel like, yes, it will go to court. But I almost feel like it gets thrown out, or I don't know what they call it, bargaining it down or something like that, like talking it. I don't know what they call it, but I feel like whatever it is, if it goes, it gets either thrown out or lessened, whatever it is. Where'd you go? Okay. I'm good. Everybody is sick in my house, so I wasn't even sure I was going to do this tonight. Yeah, it's been a long week when you're a mom. And I'm like, I have a little bit of the cold, whatever they have. It's either RSV or adenovirus when I took them in. But I'm like, don't get sick, because moms don't get days off. We don't get to call in sick. Nina Yang, should you go back to school for human services? I felt like I will never tell you, yeah, you should do anything, because that's me imposing my will on somebody. I'm just going to Nina why. That's me imposing my will. But I think it would be for your highest good, is the feeling I get, that it would benefit you to go back to school for that. I don't know if you're getting your master's in that, but there's something where I also feel like then it'll be like, it'll lead to additional certifications and additional things for you. I see why Midtown. All right. Your spirit guides. What time is that? 8:36. I heard don't be so down on yourself. So I feel like you're extremely hard on yourself, and there's a lot of regrets and a lot of negative self-talk, and they're saying that's not really helping you at all grow. It's not helping your vibration raise at all. So they're trying to say, look at everything as learning lessons that you've been going through. And I'm sorry again about the lisp. Look at everything as a learning lesson. If you can't understand me, just ask for clarity, because I know sometimes it might get muffled, and I'm trying to talk a little bit quieter because my husband is actually, I'm making him sleep in the basement because he's been coughing so much and I can't. So it's was to help me try and not get sick, and also for me to be able to sleep. And I can't sleep in the basement because then my kids won't be able to find me when they wake up. Anyway, random. But so it just feels like shift your negative self-talk and take the perspective of it's a learning lesson, rather than it's a failure, right? Because it's really not, and it's okay to fail, like, because we all fail on the way to success, always. Danny, I do feel like your mediumship will pick up this year. I actually feel like more towards the end of the year. So I feel like it's like little droplets here and then being much more clear by the end of the year. I still feel like a nervousness attached to it. So it still feels like a little apprehension and nervousness. And once you have, like, I feel like you're going to have this one really good one in October, and like something about August too, but this one really good one in October where you're going to go, okay, I'm not scared. So that will sort of like open the door for you. Hi, Sonia. Hey, thank you. Advice from your guides. I feel like needing to clear your throat chakra, that it's like still needing to work on speaking your truth. That it gets like blocked up because it's more of like afraid to ruffle feathers. It's interesting. Do you also like, it's hard for you to hear your own voice? Like if it's on a recording, you're kind of like, when you clear this out, that will no longer be the case. I don't know if I typed yours. You know what's funny is when I'm sitting here and I'm going through these questions, I always feel like in the moment, it's I'm going really, really slow. And then I watch them back. I'm like, oh, I answer these pretty quick, don't I? Okay, so that's for you. Hey, just work on, you can find you can see, so you can visualize a white light. I have a meditation on here about a white light meditation. So you can see that kind of like growing. You can follow that and watch it growing, and as it like see it clearing your throat chakra. Or you can do with that same white light, instead of visualizing it, the meditation is on, it's one of the videos on here. Instead of seeing it here in your chest, you see it here in your throat and clearing your throat chakra. It might be helpful for you. I'm just going to see if you said anything there, but no. Okay, Breezy, hello. Breezy, did he clear his throat a lot? Because I just hear somebody clearing their throat a lot. And he's whoever this is, so I don't know if this is connected to you, but there's a gentleman here, and I feel something with my arm. And not like I'm limping, but there's something with like it not being a smooth motion with walking. I don't know if you can validate any of that. And my head hurts. That's your grandfather? Well, I think he wants to talk to you instead of Uncle Ronnie. I got to be honest with you. Why is the question mark? He had dementia? Well, just because I mean, are you confused as to why he would come through if he had dementia? They're not always confused on the other side. Sometimes it takes a little bit when they first transition over to sort of kind of get back into the thing. He's not, your Uncle Ronnie is not coming through. Whoever this is coming through is, feels like, do you know what I would say honestly with your uncle? If there's somebody specific you want to contact and they don't come through on this and it's somebody else stepping through, do a private reading with me. Because I just feel like this is like, I have to work a lot to try and do that kind of stuff. So your grandfather is coming through for whatever reason. He's the one who's stepping through tonight. I actually felt like Ronnie wasn't going to be here. So I don't know who this man, the grandfather wanted to step through. I feel like he's saying it's all going to be okay. This cat ran in. Did he have a cat or did you have a cat that passed would be in spirit? And is there a joke about a cat? This is like, we used to call it when we had cats when we were little, a one-eyed, one-horned monster when you look at their butt, because it's like the eye and the horn, the tail. But literally, it's just shown the butt of the cat, which is sort of weird. So I feel like maybe Grandpa had a funny sense of humor. Does that make any sense? You can email me for a private reading. That's annalisa@myspiritualfriend.com. And it's Annalisa is one word. Not in real life, but for my email. He used to say caught a cat by the tail. Okay. So he's showing that. So that's a validation then for you that he's around you. I don't know. There's not like a huge message. I think this is just, it's all okay. So if there's nervousness there around your uncle, just understand that it's all okay. The other, I would prefer to do a private reading for this one because it feels like it would be a longer thing than I can do in this. But a private reading, and I do charge for private readings for Evolves Dog 88. So I'm just going to leave you with that so I don't get too bogged down. Okay, sorry. There was a lot of things that came in at 8:36. Look at that. Regine, what do I see coming in for you in the beginning of 2020? So they're not highlighting January or February for you. They're highlighting March. And it feels like more romance in March. So if you're in a relationship, because I'm not 100% sure, but it's like the feeling of new love coming in and or a renewal of love in your relationship. So I'm not really, I wish I could say I'm 100% certain you are or not in a relationship. That's a feeling I get in the beginning of the year. Hi, Elizabeth Lynn. Let me type your name. Nice to meet you, Taina. Was it Taina? I-36. Whoop. Hi, Kiki. Just quick seeing. You're welcome, Breezy. Kiki, you don't have to be added. You just type your question and I will get to it, okay? So I'll probably, hi, Suze, end the questions between 25 and 30 minutes, and it depends on how like long the list is going through and how well I'm keeping up with it. Let's see, did Nina's. Okay, Taina, can you know what's coming? Wrote you in love. Sorry, it took me a minute. I hope I'm saying your name wrong. Right. Probably saying it wrong if it came out that way. Lord. Taina? Luke. Let's put L. You were down on love, man. I just feel like a lot of dark heaviness around that. Like just being like, I always pick like, ugh, like, not doing well. It feels like dragging my feet. Like sort of dragging my feet, kind of putting myself out there and leaving myself energetically opening. But they keep showing me May as being a significant month for you. So it feels like that's when someone comes in for you. I don't know if I feel like this one is the forever one, but it just feels like a significant relationship comes into you in May. Also, is there something with your right leg? Because they're sort of highlighting like my right lower calf, but I also feel like a discomfort right below my right knee on my shin bone. Let me know if you have any validation for that. Rochelle, I feel like yes on Tavante. And I feel like October is going to be significant for that. Happy Sunday, Rosewater. Danielle, when will Jim contact you? I'm not sure Jim will contact you, to be honest with you. I don't feel like he's going to contact you, but I feel like you're better off for it. That's my sense. I can be wrong, and I hope, because that's what you would like for it to happen, is for him to reach out to you. So I hope I'm wrong, but that is what I feel. Taina, did you connect with anything that I said? I'm just curious about the leg thing, and then Can you like and subscribe if I've given you readings and all of that stuff? And then you can also, if you hit the bell, you'll know when I go live. I did on Friday a spiritual kind of talk, it's always interesting and fun. And I can always pick a different time if it seems like not a good time for everybody, but sorry, I always lose my place a little bit. Hi, Dwayne. So you asked if you will be okay after February 21st. What your guides are telling me is that you will be, and that you're actually okay now. Oops, I was typing February 21st instead of Dwayne. That you're actually okay now. I do feel anxiety attached to it, and it does feel like the money. I think last time you asked about a job or something. The sense that I get is that there's always doubt connected to if the money's going to come in, but it always comes in. And they're sort of saying, like, learn to trust that we take care of you. We always have your back. That, like, always, even at the last minute, something happens. So they're saying, try not to focus too much on the worry and just see the money coming in. But now you're interested, and so you're dragging your feet, not really putting yourself out there fully. Okay, it's fine. Just keep an eye on your leg, because the last few people I've read for and said, like, oh, I feel like headaches and a cold or whatever, a client actually reached out to me and said within a few days she actually was sick. So it doesn't seem anything serious, but it just may be a validation for what I got for you. You're welcome, Dwayne. Oh, thank you, Melinda. Sweetest rain. What is Alan Harris? Type your whole question, please, because I see now I have to like scroll all the way back in, and I don't want to scroll all the way back up. Elizabeth Lynn, you will get a new better paying job soon, but it feels so I'm getting 2 weeks, and oops, I typed your name wrong. I'm sorry. Pardon the error. I'm getting 2 weeks and 2 months. So I don't know if it's that you get called in for a first interview and it just takes a while to get like through the interview process, and I don't know if it's references, going through references, or like nurses have to have background checks kind of things. So I don't know if it's that's the 2 months, but it feels like 2 weeks and 2 months. So you will have one soon. Isha, I already answered that question about Akshay. Iman, will Omar contact you again? I feel like yes, but I feel like it sort of fizzles out after that. I don't feel like it's a big, whatever happens, either you can't get your schedules together, or it's sort of like lost cause feeling, but it doesn't feel like it comes together, right? Hi, Anne. Anne, I do feel like your investments will be fruitful. I also have the feeling that there's going to be some kind of bump or hiccup and you're going to get nervous about it. Don't pull it out. Just stay with it. Just stay the course. Don't worry. Because I feel like you don't have to. I don't feel like you're in. It just feels like stay the course. So there might be like a bump, but just stay the course and it's okay. It'll be okay. It'll end up kind of coming back up. Hi, Mimi. Will you have the funds to purchase a house this year? I heard yes, but it might be just scraping by. So I don't know if it's that maybe you find something that's just a little bit at the top end of your budget, and that's why it feels like it's just kind of getting in there. but I do feel like you will. But it feels like, again, more towards the end of the year. Mary Ale, what is love for you in 2020? Honestly, it doesn't feel like any major connections. It feels like dating several different people, doing a couple different relationships, but nothing quite sticks. Maybe at the very end of the year is when you meet someone that's going to be more serious. But I also feel like work-wise, you go through something where you're like too busy to deal with kind of dating and dealing with. So I don't know if it's that you travel, because I see an airplane, so I don't know if there's travel involved in that or what, but it just feels like not being able to be fully present and available yourself. Hi, Julie. Julie, of course there's ways to increase your wealth in 2020. So that's the manifestation part, right? When you're asking if it's possible, then there's that lingering doubt. And what I've learned recently, and I think it's true because I've sort of had it double check, where I start to wonder, or like that doubt sort of sinks in, and I look at, why is there doubt? So I look at, where would that come from? What's that belief system that you're not worthy of it? So why are you not worthy of wealth or financial abundance or love, or whatever it is that you're struggling with manifesting? And find that one, because the truth is that when we say, well, because someone else is more deserving, or if you have, like with love, it's like, well, maybe I'm not good enough. You need to look at what that core part of that doubt is and work on that, because then when you go to that core part and heal that core part, then your vibration shifts completely and you're able to move into that manifestation. So yes, I do feel like you will. Again, I feel like it's going to be more towards the end of the year for you to like kind of shift that belief system. I almost feel like it's like attached to like, Julie, I don't know if you were taught like through a religious belief, like if you want money or you want that, that's like not godly, or it's selfish, or it's materialistic, and so it's not good. There's enough for all of us, right? And not everybody wants to manifest the same thing. So it just feels like if you kind of release that belief system, like, what is your wealth? What are you looking to do with your wealth? And is it just to amass wealth, or is it to help others along the way, or whatever it is? Like, sort of kind of get that straight, and then heal that belief system that's sort of blocking you from knowing that you're worth whatever it is you want to desire to manifest. Rosewater, do I see you getting leadership opportunities at work in the near future? Yeah, actually, like really quick, like in the next 2 weeks or so. If not in 2 weeks, in February. I don't know if they have classes that you would teach, like leadership training, or like just classes where you, orientation type thing or whatever, because that might be the possibility there. Hi, AP. Hi, everybody wants to know about love. Hang on, I just want to see if I get any validations from anybody. I'm going to go ahead and stop the questions for now. So no more questions after Kiki. So if you haven't gotten your question in yet, don't worry. Come back next week. I'm always here. And stay here and hang out and listen, because maybe there's a little piece of information. Sometimes people's what they're getting for messages crosses over. Urban Lady, I'm not doing any new questions tonight. Katie, I didn't skip you. I just sang no new questions. So I'm going to answer everybody else that asked their questions beforehand. Katie, I'm going to ask everybody's question that answered beforehand, but I have to stop the feed somewhere so that I can catch up. Okay, so that was Julie's. Let's see, let me figure out where. Here, yeah, I did it. Julie Owen, Rosewater. Okay, AP. This is for you. Where do I see love coming in? It's coming up for you in love. I literally heard chaos heal the wound first. I don't know if you tend to hop from one to the next, but it's that feeling of you can't just wait and hope that somebody else is going to heal that wound and fix it and be the perfect thing. And then none of that stuff is going to matter. You have to heal yourself first. So they're not showing me a specific time frame. They're just kind of talking about doing some self-work for you, AP. I don't know if that makes any sense. If you guys can type in any validations, that'd be super awesome. It's always nice. Kiki, you don't have to ask more than once. All you have to do is type it one time, first of all. And second of all, I did see that you typed your question. You got it in right before. But just type it one time. Okay, good. I'm glad that made sense for you, AP. Okay, Katie Racy, your turn is up. How's your future with Tyree? I heard it's not. Does he have a short temper? I feel somebody who gets like really frustrated, almost like doesn't have the emotional maturity to know how to express his own feelings. Let me know if that makes sense so I know that I'm tapping into the right energy here. It does. Okay. I just feel like, so then that's the validation. If his personality kind of fits into that one, I don't feel like it's going to go anywhere. I feel like it will end. I feel like you're going to get tired of it and sort of recognize your self-worth and move on from it. It might be about 6 months or so. It's whenever you decide, but I feel like it's maybe another 6 months or so before. Hi, Dawson. Okay. It's funny. Hey, I don't need your name. It's the weirdest thing. So I just always need the name of the person you're talking about. And I don't know why. Like I'm fine with, because I pick up your own energy through whatever you type. So it's strange the way it works. I don't know why it works the way it works. It's just the way it works for me. Some other people like astro signs and stuff like that. This is just the way I work. Blue Storm, is the Mucker Lab application going to go anywhere? I heard no. But it's in your best interest that it doesn't, whatever that means. And I literally was going to type Mucker Lab instead of Blue Storm. Sorry. Okay, Nina, I already answered your question. Remember, guys, just type it one time. I will get to you. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Duchess Margaret. Thank you for joining us from Holland. Mimi, I do feel like you will. I don't know what the delay is. Do you already have children together? Music for the vibe. I feel like it's about 3 months out or so yet for relocating to a new house. Hold on a sec. He has kids. Okay. So I don't know what the delay would be, but it just feels like it's delayed for some reason. So I felt a child, and there's something with the child that would cause the delay. So I don't know if I don't know what it is. It's not terrible. It's just because I felt like there was already kids in the picture. So but I do feel like it'll be delayed a little bit, but that it will be. And maybe he wants the kids to have more time to adjust and feel more comfortable, whatever it is. But it just feels like a little bit of a delay. Maybe not as fast as you would like, but be patient, especially when you're blending families. Oh, I forgot I was at 8:30 something, not there's Sherry Kirk. That's what it was, one of the next ones. Princess Nye, do I have any messages for you? Do you tend to talk in a really soft voice? Because I just heard someone saying speak louder. I don't think they're talking to me, but I heard speak louder because it's almost like you say something too quiet and then you get upset that nobody ever hears you and that you're not being heard. But they're sort of like, you kind of got to speak up a little more and be more of an advocate for yourself. You can't get so upset at the world if they're not hearing you because you're not making yourself known. So that can also be, if you're not speaking loud enough, that can also be more metaphorically speaking. It's for Princess and I. Uh-oh. I think I'm going to start sneezing. You're welcome, music for the vibe. Okay, Sherry, Happy New Year. Oh. Sherry, the only thing I can say is if you really want to try and connect with him is do a private reading. I don't know why. I have a man standing here with his hands in his pockets, kind of playing with the change in his pockets, and he's wearing jeans and a shirt tucked in. He has a little bit of a belly. Does this fit him? Did he not like pictures? Because I can't see his head very well. Like I see gray hair, like peppery gray hair, but I can't, he's not showing me his face. I don't know if this makes any sense, Sherry. I'm trying to wait and be patient because I know that there's a delay in whatever you guys type and when I see it. Emily, yours will get answered. Don't worry. I'll check back. I need you guys to kind of, especially if you're asking for me to connect with a spirit, sometimes I only get something for those few, like whatever, and then I have to move forward. So I sort of have to ask them to step back so that I can keep moving forward in the energy. So if you're asking to speak with someone, you really need to be present and stay with me here because I can't stay here for all night. So if we do a private reading, then you have me and that energy and we're in it and it's, better. But when it's kind of this quick moving through, it's not like the TV shows where they can spend a whole bunch of time and do the outtakes and the cuts and everything else, and they've allotted hours of whatever. Nobody wants to sit here and watch me stare at you and try and sit in the energy. Danny, I love the discussion chat on Friday too. Okay, Melinda. Will 2020 be romantic love for you? So this is weird because I heard yes, but not in the way you want. So I feel like whatever relationship you had this year, like I feel like it'll be one that lasts several months, like six to 8 months. But I feel like whatever it is, Sherry, it might not be that it's not about too soon necessarily, because I've seen people come in like the minute they pass, on their way out the door, actually. It depends on how spiritual they are. That's sort of like, the more spiritual you are, like you guys that are all here right now will probably kick in and be able to talk the minute you cross over. The less spiritual you are, like really it takes a long time, because they have to learn the language and how to shift their energy to come meet mine and all of that stuff. Steph, I'm not answering any new questions tonight. And it's also their personality. So even if you miss them, if you've had, it doesn't mean they're not around you if they don't come through with me. But if you understood their passing and there was nothing left unsaid, and there was, everything was sealed up and done okay, and you're okay with their passing, being okay with somebody's passing doesn't mean that you're not grieving their loss. It's just like fully understanding and accepting it, right? They don't necessarily aren't going to be the ones to jump in first to give a message. They might step out and make room for somebody else's energy to come in to visit with somebody else, like Breezy Livin's grandfather came through. Even though she doesn't understand that. The other thing is with whatever message the uncle may have may be too personal and too much to give in this space. So they're sort of respectful of what I'm doing. They're respectful of your energy and where you're at. There's a lot more to it than just you get what you want all the time. Like it doesn't always work that way in this type of thing. And I'm sorry about that. Shining out light, I'm not doing any new questions tonight, okay? So come back next week. Or stay here and see what you get just listening to others. That's great too. Melinda, okay, I just answered yours. I just didn't type your name. I couldn't. And I hope to God I just spelled your name right. I did. Good. Sonia. Sonia, it's neither of those things. She said, I've been seeing a guy lately and it seems like he's been avoiding me. I'm trying to figure out if he's just busy or if it's just me. It is neither of those things. It's him. And he has his own issues. Remember, when we come to relationships, it's not that there's necessarily anything wrong with you. Everybody comes with their stuff, right? So it feels more like it's actually his own issues with commitment and emotional connection. So, there's always a new bus every 5 minutes. So just close that door, allow him to move on. Don't pine away. Definitely do not think that there's anything wrong with you. And make space for somebody else to come in. Yeah, Emily, his energy is weird. There's something off, definitely. I agree. Laura H wants a general message. It's 8:38. Yes, his energy is unbalanced, but it's just a lower vibrational energy. So if you vibrate at a different, if you're at a different area, then it doesn't feel right. And if you're not, it doesn't mean just because I'm saying this that if you like kind of like him for whatever reason, it doesn't mean I think you're terrible. I just, for whatever reason, what he sits in, I'm not digging him. So take it for what it's worth. It's a grain of salt. Who am I anyway, really? Just another person living on the planet. Laura H. General reading. Okay. Did I type your name? I did. Good. I feel like your energy is kind of low. They actually said if you had your Wheaties today. I don't know how old you are, but if you're a millennial, you may not know about Wheaties. Wheaties, crunchy wheat. Go tell your mama what the big boys eat. I think that's how it goes. So it just feels like needing more protein and needing more energy and having like a lower energy and like kind of not feeling more fatigued. So I actually just feel like it's really truly around your diet. You need to clean up your diet and eat and be more aware of the energy that you're putting in your body. And also saying, so the reason why we say prayers around food is not because we're thanking God for this divinity. I mean, if you want to think of it that way, you can. But I say gratitude when I eat, especially when I'm eating meat, because, and yes, I'm a meat eater, because I thank that animal for the soul and for giving its life so that I may nourish my body. Same thing with fruit. Fruit's a living being. Vegetables are a living being, and I make sure I say thank you for all of the people that worked to bring me the food, because it's a whole process. So that's why you do it. It's just sort of sending gratitude to the souls that helped you get your food, and then that brings a sense of positivity into your body as you eat. But it just feels like needing to that fatigue it, but it feels like it's around diet, needing to shift my diet. No, my sniffing is my energy. I'm I have a cold, but I am hoping not to get it as bad as the rest of my family. Yeah, Melinda, I did say yes, but not in the way you want. So I feel like you'll get it, but it won't be the relationship you're hoping for. That's the best way to say it. Emily, you're not going to get skipped. It's just that sometimes the stuff gets moved around. Someone else explained how they noticed that stuff gets kind of bumped around. It might be because people put a whole bunch of stuff in at once. So you're not going to get skipped. Don't worry. I'm hoping to feel better. I'm hoping tomorrow. I'm going to wake up just feeling poof. Emily, if I get to the point where I say I'm done with all the questions and I haven't answered yours, type yours in. I usually hang out for just a few minutes anyway, just to make sure. And trust that your question gets answered in the perfect right time that it's supposed to get answered. And I don't know why, other than maybe there's something else you're supposed to hear throughout the conversation or what it is, but that's what I get. Moms do work harder, Duchess Margaret. I agree. I can't believe you're still awake. I'd be a zombie. Thank you for being here. That's like, honestly, that's one of the biggest compliments is when someone stays awake this long just to listen. I'm trying to see, Emily, where your question was. Oh, is there any messages coming in through one of your spirit guides? Okay, gotcha. Done. Found you. Here we go, Emily. Okay, you're going to think this is weird. So you were worried about getting skipped. They're kind of like, that's kind of like what you do in life is you're worried that you're going to get skipped, you're going to get missed, you're going to get passed over, you're not going to get awarded, or you're recognized when you need to. I used to do the same thing, so I'm not holding it in judgment. Hang on, I should take a sip of water. I'm not judging you or scolding you. But what I learned to do was really trust that I would get the recognition and the exact perfect timing when it was right. Because sometimes if you get it too early, you're going to miss other and bigger opportunities. So sort of sit in the thing of, why isn't something happening when I want it to happen? Why do I always feel left like on the back burner? Just trust that there are lessons in everything that you're going through and that it will come to you in the exact perfect timing, and try and sit in that energy and trusting that your guides are always taking care of you and doing sort of like steering things for the best opportunities possible. Maybe that's not what you want to hear, but it's like sort of just really trusting them. ST. Did I answer your question? I'm confused. I know I talked to you, but maybe you just typed it twice. You always do feel anxious to do uncertain things to get my point across, and just, yeah. So you will be. Don't if you're worried you're not going to get heard, you're not going to get heard. So it sort of is, again, shifting that belief system so that it shifts the energy. If you can just say the mantra that if I need to be heard, I will always be heard. If I need to, the other person will always receive what I'm saying. And it's just sort of like, if it needs to happen. So then it sort of takes the pressure away of like needing to make sure. Steph, I think yours is under ST. What do your guides have for you? I feel really nauseous. I don't know. Can you validate that? I'm like almost like car sick. Can you validate that at all? Ooh, I don't like that feeling. That is not a feeling like. The quicker you can validate that one, the better. Sorry, it's like my thing keeps. I'm still not used to this mouse. Like it's opposite of the way the one I used to use was. So sorry, bear with me. I'm sorry for that big lull. I'm really trying to get over whatever this nauseous feeling is. What do you mean by you get a lot of them? Sorry, I don't remember what I said. I just felt so yucky. Do you get motion sick a lot? Because the only thing I can say is this might be something coming up then, if I feel like this. The only other feeling connected to that besides actually physically getting sick is pregnant. So I don't know what you can validate from that, but that's what I'm getting. Oh, you can change the scrolling direction in the mouse? Thank you. All these little things I don't know. You're going on a cruise soon. Okay, so you might get really motion sick with that then. That's the only thing I can think of because it was such an overwhelming feeling. So, if you can't get Dramamine, all Dramamine is an antihistamine. You can use Benadryl. Okay, so let's hope it's the motion sick for the cruise. It might also mean that it might be a little low. So, but if you can't find Dramamine or you don't have it, also bring Benadryl with you as backup because it's an antihistamine. Both of them, they work the same way. They're both antihistamines. That's creates the prevents the motion sickness. And keep a full stomach because that helps with that too. It seems counterintuitive to have a full stomach, but have a full stomach. I'm also hearing don't panic. So don't get worried about it. They're just showing that. So I think it's maybe to make sure you pack it with you. They probably have something like that on board, but just have your own because then you won't, No, Suze, you probably haven't been missed, but I don't know when you asked. If you asked before, after I I said no more questions, then I might not be doing yours tonight. So give me a chance to kind of figure out where I'm at. I'm at maybe at 8:40 yet. No, I'm not even at 8:40 yet, y'all. Oof. I asked, he answered, Tannis. So this is, and I think I said something to you about the investment eventually, but there's like a bump. So I feel like it'll pay out this quarter, but I feel like don't take it out just because it feels like, again, the bump going down. And then, so it just feels like leave it in, whatever that means. Ms. French. You said you set up your own business. I feel like there needs to be more research done before you do that so that when you move into all of the financial and legal stuff, like you understand having the business plan and all of that. So for whatever reason, so I don't know, maybe you already know about all that, but it feels like needing more research before you can do that. And again, I will never tell you, should you, I can tell you that if it happens, this will happen, whatever. I do feel like it'll be a struggle at first. So just hold tight to that. But I feel like there's a really good learning lesson in that. So don't, because I'm saying that, don't necessarily go, oh, don't do it. But needing more research before is what I'm feeling is the big part of that. Oh, it's French with 2 F's. So sorry about that. I didn't. Moni, what does Tarhib feel towards you? Oh, all right, everybody. What do I think about twin flames and soulmates? It's garbage. So there is no one person for you in a planet of 9 billion souls to be the person that you're going to fall in love with. I mean, how ridiculous is that, right? There isn't one soulmate either. There are soul families, and there are people we incarnate with several times. And because we just like learning from each other, right? And there are people that you have really nice connections with, that you've had love relationships with before in other lives, that you may have another love relationship with. But there is not one person, right? So let's remember that, because that puts a lot of pressure on you, because then it's like, why am I not good enough to find the one? Why can't I seem to find it? Like, it's just all this like pressure and craziness, and like, or I'll just never find the one and I'll be forever alone. No, you won't. You will learn lessons from everybody in all kinds of relationships. So how about, will I find a healthy relationship, right? And then it's like, you got to work on yourself. But let's get rid of the like whole twin flame garbage that's been sold to everybody, and the whole soulmates because you know what? You have a lot of soulmates because you have soul families. Your soulmates can be in your friends, and your soulmates can be in your siblings and your parents and whatever else. So get rid of the garbage and the pressure on yourself that you've got to find this perfect person, because you will never find a perfect person, because we come into this world and incarnate in this world to be in relationships that force us to grow and learn. And relationships, all forms of them, be it parent-child, be it sibling, be it family member, coworker, friendship, whatever, there are struggles in every single one of them, and we work in every single one of them, and we are pushed to grow in every single one of them. So stop putting the pressure on yourself to find the perfect one, because the perfect one does not exist, because that's not what the point is of incarnating on this world. Take that pressure off yourself. So your answer to him is he your twin flame or soulmate? No. What does he feel about you? I feel like he looks at you like you're okay, kind of whatever, but I don't feel like I'm ready to make a commitment, and I don't feel like it will end up being a commitment. But stop feeling that there's something wrong with you, that you haven't quite found the right thing. It's sort of like needing to look within yourself and recognize that you have more value than you give yourself credit for, and you are worth more than you give yourself credit for. Don't be so hard on yourself. And of course, I will always say, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that you always get what you want. But you know what the reality is I dated a guy once, and I was like, oh, please, because it was that same feeling of like just wanting something to work out, and literally being shaken by one of my guides saying, it's not going to happen, like loud, really loud at 11 o'clock one night when I was lying in bed. So, you know what? I'm so grateful that didn't happen, because that guy's a total piece of crap. Sorry, I know I said I wouldn't say bad, but it just energetically like had so much work to do that it would have been the worst thing ever for me to be with that person. And Danny says, don't forget to like and subscribe. Lee, I'm not taking any new questions tonight. I'm just catching up on all the ones that were posted before, whatever, 8:57, 8:59, something like that. Alan R., what do your guides want you to know? They said, take your time and quit rushing through everything. It feels like just trying to always get everything done and not really like enjoying it. So take your time. Just slow down the pace a little bit. There is no hurry. So if you don't get it in this lifetime, you'll get it in another one. Don't worry about it. Evil's dog? I don't know. I literally hear, do your homework, do your research. So it feels like the decision you're about to make sure you do your homework on it. Make sure it feels more work related. Just feels like really do your homework and do your research, because it's like, don't make rash decisions. You're going to end up learning the hard way instead of the smart way, and always wanting to go in and step in as someone who present yourself as someone who is prepared, well prepared, because that will be much more impressive. It's a feeling like you're really, really smart. So you're not like, you don't like worry too much about things, but it's like, really do your homework. E-Falls work. Okay. Ellen, I did read for you. I'm pretty sure I did. I just read fast. Stream it back. Oh my. Sorry, guys. Please remember, if you come back again, do not type your question a million times. I don't need to see it 800 times. Just one time, I'll get to you. Carrie Simpson, you wanted to know, connect with your mom. Do you have a name for her? Because I'm not feeling anybody coming through really strongly. And the other thing is, remember that if someone doesn't come through really strongly, it doesn't mean they're not around you. Doesn't mean I can't connect with them. But this is like sort of you're getting like a minute or 30 seconds. Whatever I feel like somebody who is not very spiritually, wasn't spiritually inclined in this lifetime. So not a very spiritual person. And it takes them a little bit longer. Does that make sense? Your mom wasn't very spiritual. She might have been religious, but she wasn't spiritual. She was Christian, right? She might have been religious, but she wasn't necessarily spiritual. There are plenty of people who believe in God, but their faith is lacking in order to really trust the spiritual side of it. Sometimes they don't come through. The other thing is the one woman that is like sort of kind of like she's literally hanging out in the doorway, like not wanting to walk through. It feels like somebody who's very energetically not wanting to be the center of attention, very introverted, not wanting to step through in this sense. I don't know if that fits her, but she's not coming through strong enough to make like a big, like I can barely even see her image. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not strong. It doesn't mean she won't come through again at another time. But the other thing I recommend to people is a private reading, especially when you're wanting to do mediumship stuff. Suze, I will look for you. Oh, by the way, Suze, I'm like only at 8:40, if that. So I'm only like literally 5 minutes into all the lists of questions because there's so many people. So I just may not have made it to you. Dina, Ben, I don't think even Cleve knows that you like him. So I don't think like you're on his radar at all. So if you want somebody to, you have to sort of like let yourself be known. Sometimes they're not going to notice you until you sort of like put yourself forward and out there. And that's sort of the feelings like you haven't put your energy out there. Lauren Jane, I don't see marriage for you for a few years yet. I don't know if Adrian is the one. but I don't feel marriage for you, at least for another, like, maybe 4 years. Okay. Suze, I don't see yours. Just, oh no. See, yours is, you said hi here. Oh yeah, I haven't even gotten to your question yet, Suze. You weren't 4 minutes in. You were at 8:52. So for me, that's almost 18, 17 minutes in. So gotta be patient. I'll get to you. I think Nikki, you're next. How's your health for 2020? I feel like it's okay, except the one thing that I'm being pulled toward is your blood sugars. So I don't know if you have blood sugar issues, but I'm sort of like feeling like that's something that you need to be mindful of. Does that make any sense? Oh, you're in the UK. I'm sorry, Suze. I'll be to you in a minute. I promise. Must be late. Okay. I'll try to hurry because I'm sure you're tired. In fact, I'll do yours next. That being the case. And I hope everybody else understands. I can't even imagine still being awake. So thank you for being here. I said 8:52 for yours, right? Are you and Steve still together? You must have had a fight. I heard yes, hanging by a thread. They're literally throwing the question back at you saying, do you really want to stay with this? He goes quiet. It's just that feeling of like, do you really want to keep putting up with this? Oh, okay. So they're saying there's a lesson in this for you for accepting people who don't show up for you, because it happens to you in many areas of your life. Your friends don't always show up for you. Like you're always there for them, and family hasn't always shown up for you. And they're sort of like, do you really want to keep this pattern going where people aren't fully showing up for you? You can have another connection with somebody else who shows up. So I'm not judging you. I'm just saying it. Does that make sense when I say it's the feeling of people not showing up for you in general in life? Like you're always being there. You're always alone. It's the feeling of like you're always there for everybody else. If they need something, they call you, or they just need an ear or whatever. And it's like sort of that feeling of like people don't show up that way for you, or they're sort of like halfway there showing up for you. That's the lesson in this relationship with him, because it's, we all put up with a lot more from family than we do from our, loved ones or people we're in love with, whatever. But it's more obvious to you. Is he showing up? He's not. Do you really want to keep that pattern going? Understand that you're worth somebody taking their time for you. You're worth them making the effort. And it's not asking too much. And it doesn't make you a diva or somebody who, is high maintenance. People should show up for you. So I think that's the lesson in this relationship. I hope that's helpful for you. I don't know if Nikki D is still here, if that made any sense for her, but I hope it did. And Queen of Swords, I do feel like everything will be okay at work. So just breathe on that. Nicole, any messages from your spirits? I heard keep the faith and keep hammering it out, and that there's still work to be done, and that you have to sort of just hang in there. This is sort of like one of those things where you're not used to really putting the work in. It's time for you to really put the work in and be in it for the long haul. Duchess Margaret, if you're still here, the cigarette smoke can be a loved one who's crossed over, who used to smoke. Like a friend of mine always smells, her mom was a smoker. So whenever her mom was around, she always smells cigarette smoke. I always smell like my grandmother, her perfume, and then the smell of her having gone to the bathroom. And I don't know why, but that's like what I smell of her. It's like the weirdest thing. So I always ask her to show me in a different way, but it is what it is. Kiki, what's coming towards you in the next few weeks? I do feel like you're going to be kind of overwhelmed by work levels or something like that. It doesn't feel like love or whatever. It feels like being overwhelmed with work. So either lots of projects or whatever, like it's going to feel like everything's going to come at once, like a freight train. But then it'll settle its way out and you'll find your way out of it. But it's just going to feel like kind of overwhelming a little bit, but it'll be okay. Juliet Rogers, will you find your desired living space in 3 months? I'm trying to organize my thoughts and be realistic and responsible in my goal plan. I'm so unhappy. I feel like you will, but I feel like it'll be like smaller, maybe not as nice as you're hoping, because it feels small and not as nice, but it feels like only going to be there for a year to 18 months and then moving again to something nicer. But just being able to find your own space. But I do feel like you will get something just smaller and not as nice as you want, but it'll still be your space and you can make your home wherever you are. Trust me. I've moved a lot and you can. Oh, Juliet has a leg problem, orthopedic appointment on the 16th. Worrying about it, approved for applied health insurance. Just moved from another state. It'll be approved. It just might take a little bit. Like it might be a little bit of back and forth, but it'll get approved, Juliet, just so you know. Julie, you were told you were going to the poor farm. So that's the belief system you have to change. Okay. I think I've hit my limit. Kiki, I'll do yours real quick. Oh, I'm at 1:19 now. You had a question already, so I don't feel too terrible. You can come back next week if you really want about the love. All right. Everybody have a lovely, lovely weekend or week. See, I need to get sleep. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all of your support. To my new subscribers, thank you. Thank you. I will be back. I want to do another chat where we do that again, but I don't have any time this week. I have a lot of clients set up this week. So we will hopefully get that done next week. Maybe I can find a better time so more of you can be here. So if you want to even message on the bottom of here, even after it's posted, when's a good time to do a live spiritual chat, or on the other live spiritual chat, you can give me a better time. If I can find some kind of consensus that it seems like maybe doing another evening thing, or maybe like a Saturday or Sunday morning, I would be willing to do that. So, all right. I hope you guys are doing well. Have a great week. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you again. Like and subscribe and hit the bell and all of that good stuff. And if you want a private reading, reach out to me at annalisa@myspiritualfriend.com. I'm on Instagram, My Spiritual Friend, Twitter. I don't really do that one very much, but you can join me there. Have a great week.